Thank you for joining us at Autodesk Business Solutions for our presentation of SAP Business One Dropship Procurement. When you go to enter a sales order, you choose your customer, enter an optional purchase order number, the date that you want this delivered or you expect it to be delivered, and then you choose your items that the customer is ordering. And you notice in this in SAP Business One, you can multiple select with the control key or shift key. Now we'll bring in items and corresponding prices that have been created previously. You can enter your quantities, and then I can look up quickly to see if I have enough available, and you'll see that I'm entering these part numbers have availability in Warehouse 2. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on their default, which is Warehouse 2. The procurement document is indicated in the Logistics tab. So that would be where you would decide whether or not this is a drop ship to the customer. And upon completing all the information for the order, you can check your prices. Perhaps you want to raise the price if these look, if you have a decision you need more profit, then when you're finished, you will hit add. Then you work through the order, and you'll see that it selects the current order for the customer, but you could combine multiple orders in this case. And at this point, it brings up the option for the vendor selection. In our case, we're going to pick from one vendor, which is John Hopkins, associated with the virtual warehouse that we were looking at. And you'll see that if I want, I can change the price. I'll just pull a price that's associated with this vendor in my price list. And so we'll just go to the next step, which allows you to choose a different method of consolidation if you want something other than the vendor. And upon final review, when you go to the next step, it will actually create the purchase order. And you can see that purchase order here. And you'll see that the lines look very similar to the original sales order. And so if I go back to the sales order, I can see now I noticed I made a mistake on my price. I can update that. And you'll see that in the purchase order, you have a reference to the sales order. But one of the nice things about SAP is you can actually, if somebody pulls up this sales order later, you can actually show a relationship map. And assuming that I don't know this purchase order is there, it will show you everything related to this order. The purchase order is used to procure the product, the customer, and the vendor. I can drill down to my purchase order from that screen as well. And that relationship map is also available from the purchase order, so you can go either way, so that you do not lose track of what's being handled where. Now, typically at this point, you want to send a confirmation to the customer, and so you hit the email button, and an email is generated for the email address associated with this contact, and that will create an email in Outlook for you. You can also do the same thing on the purchasing side for the vendor. I open up my purchase order, and I hit the email button. Now these emails can be sent in batch. They can be scheduled as well to be sent at a later time. So if you want to batch all orders placed for the day at a certain time of day, you can schedule that. So you'll notice that now if I go to my draft folder of SAP or in my Outlook, you'll see the sales order attached to the customer's email with his address, and you'll see the purchase order attached to an email for the vendor. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, please visit our website, www.autodesk.com.